Hello everyone. Tonight we're going to do another over pour, or whatever you call it. I'm covering this painting. I had some problems with it, and I figured out finally what the problem is. And the problem with getting these little paint lumps is when I get a color, I'll take this one for example. This is Deco Art's Emerald, and it's actually a very light color. It's a lighter green, kind of a bright green. And I am, after mixing it and going, I think I'd like this paint darker, I am taking a thicker or a heavy bodied paint and trying to incorporate it into my paints. And I'm stirring and thinking that it's, you know, completely dissolved in there. And that hasn't been the case. So I'm getting these little paint balls, if you will, just little paint clumps everywhere. Some of them are very, very tiny, but you can see them after the painting dries. So what I've been doing, a little tip that I thought I'd pass along, is I take a tiny little cup like this. I add my thicker, heavy-bodied paint to it. Then I take a teaspoon or a tablespoon, about that much paint of this color, and put it in there, and then I mix it like crazy, and you can smash it against the sides and really get it mixed up well, and then I incorporate it into my paint, and that's what's been working. I just thought I would pass that along because I have several of them. When I first started, I've got a bunch of paintings, and when I first started, I didn't even think about it. So anyway, let's get on with this. I've already told you about that one. This is Artist Loft White with satin enamel, flotrol to consistency, and you want your paint to flow. It's thick, but you want it to freely flow like that. You want it to mound upon mound, and then you want it to trace and then disappear. And you want your stick, spoon, whatever, to stand up in it. So those are the criteria for the thickness. This is that Sargent Arts Aquamarine. And again, it's free-flowing, but the stick still stands up in it. This is one of my little mixtures. I have a lot of them. This is light copper, and then I put brown in it, and I put red in it from Arteza, and made almost a fire opal color. And that's what I'm going to use it for tonight in place of fire opal. This is Deco Art's Sapphire, and I added, now let me get this, I added a little bit of obsidian into it. It's got a lot of, it's basically, I don't know if you can see that, it's black with just tons of silver. It almost looks like a silver paint, but it's black. And the Deco Art Sapphire has a lot of silver, so it darkens it and it doesn't dull it any. So that's really nice. Excuse me. This is Extreme Sheen by Deco Art 24 Karat Gold, and I added Deco Art Metallic Glorious Gold, which is very dark, and it deepened this gold color. It's not quite as yellowy, I guess. It made it a really rich gold color, which I prefer. So, and then we have this color, which is Turquoise by Craftsmart, and I keep wanting to call it teal. It is turquoise. So, the flotrol, it really does depend on the paint. I think I added, when most add 1-to-1. I added 2 parts flotrol to 1 part paint. And sometimes even 3 parts flotrol to 1 part paint. I'm looking for the color, the consistency. That's what's most important to me, is that consistency. If it gets a little bit lighter, it doesn't bother me, because I can always deepen the color. So I'm looking to stretch these paints because they're really expensive and still have the colors that I want. Okay, let's make our cup. I'm going to start with a tiny bit of white, and then we'll go with the blue, as I always do, the sapphire. And then I'm going to do a tiny bit of the turquoise, like that amount. And then I'm going to do the sergeants. I did actually write this down so I could do the order. I'm not following it very well. Okay, white. And the sapphire. And here's where I'm going to add some green. Not a lot. And some gold. And some white. And I want to put that fire opal in there, but I don't want to make a weird color. So I'm going to put just a tiny bit of gold so I have a foundation for this opalish color. It's not opal, it's copper, but we're going to call it opal for this painting. It can make some weird colors with these other metallics, so that's why I'm kind of humming and hawing about it. Okay, I'm going to do sapphire, turquoise, sergeants, whatever. You know, I think I'm going to put the green right next to this. And then a little gold. Whoops, that's a lot of gold. Oopsie. And then white. Just going to use this up with a lot of it in this pour. Maybe I'll get an outer space painting. I love those. They make me happy. And some white. And that's it, because my cup is full. I'm going to put a drop of this green and try to fit it in there. Just a little. Wipe this off. Okay. I've been having a difficult night with steadying my hands, and so I haven't been feeling well at all. So hopefully I can make a steady painting. Pray for me, seriously. got lots of little cells on top of my cup. And lots of bubbles there. Oh, goodness. There we go. Okay, guys. I'll try to be as steady as I can. I just had to stop that. I didn't want that much white to be in that center, or too much white. And it was going to make my center too white. I didn't want that. I'm going to tap my canvas because I've got so many bubbles. I generally mix my paint just before I pour, and so I get a lot of bubbles, and that's just how it is, unfortunately. I just can't make large batches of it because even though I pour a lot, it seems to, I guess it's the warmth of my house or something, it just seems to kind of dry on the sides of the cup, and then it ends up in my painting. So yeah, I don't want that. I think I'm going to let this sit just a minute or two. It's developing right now, and I want it to settle down a little bit. And then I'll spread the white, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've spread my white. I'm going to torch one more time. Should have done that before. And we'll see how this goes. It's weird because I always stretch on a diagonal, and when your composition isn't diagonal, it makes it a little weird. move this whole thing up somehow. There we go. I'm going to try to go for this corner. Losing my grip. Jeez. Didn't quite cover my corners, so let me pick up some of this paint and dab it on. I'm going to knock all this off of here, try to get some symmetry going. I probably shouldn't have even tried to pour tonight. That's better. I like that better. I like that a lot better. Let's see what we can do with this. I've got some paint in my cup that I'm going to need for this corner for sure. Yeah, I like that better. I'd like to stretch this across. I'm going to try it. What the heck? Let's see where my paint is. Okay, it's way over here. The wrong part's moving. I got it to move a little bit, but this part was moving. Irregardless of my desires. I'll cover this part here. I didn't get any paint on it. I didn't even get any white on it. So that's why I saved my cup. I always save the last parts of my paint so that I have the same colors in the same order, and I can fix this with no problem in matching the paints and so on. Because I've done it, I've tried to come back in, you know, a little spot here, a little spot there, and it's like, I don't like that. And or I've brushed up against one of the corners or something and it doesn't work. I mean, you can make it work, but it just looks better if you have the paints that you started with. That's my opinion. Trying to get a little more of that green in this corner. So it doesn't stick out. Okay. I'm going to torch it and then I'll let you see what we got. Here we go. I got some beautiful cells. And they look, this very much looks like an under the water scene. That almost looks like Pussy Willow bent over or something. The colors are very under the sea. There's that corner. I need to work on it a little bit. Kind of stands out. It's a little sore thumb there. Look at how that blue did. It's got an outline of the light blue, but it didn't like totally differentiate. It's really interesting. And then this corner, then you got that, these waving branches or whatever. I don't know, they look like something under the water, and it looks very natural like that, which is interesting. So I wanted to like bring them over a little bit more. Okay, and down this side. In the center. And I'm going to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. I would really appreciate it. I thank you very much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you again next time. And have a great night. Bye-bye.